From Hollywood, California, this is SMPTE 2016 Live, produced by Broadcast Beat.
Hello and welcome to 2016 SMPTE Live. I'm your host, Ryan Salazar. Today we have several special guests. Barbara Marshall, executive producer at MTI Film. How are you, Barbara?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
Excellent. Great to have you today. We also have Geoff Bloder, vice president of technology at Premier Digital Services. How are you, Geoff?
Good, thank you.
Excellent. So it's great to be in Los Angeles today. Let's discuss the migration of deliverables. So what role does your company play in the migration of deliverables?
Well, our company creates software as well as does post-production services for film and television. So we are responsible for creating the content in which we do all the deliverables to be able to hand off to Geoff.
Excellent. So Geoff, I'm curious, what advancements have you seen in their system?
Well, for us, the main advancements have been about how content gets delivered out to the rest of the world in this digital space. As we receive handoff of assets that come from companies like MTI, Premier Digital is responsible for then prepping them to distribute out to the rest of the world, typically for broadcast or OTT type deliverables. So a lot of the advancements we've seen have been around this concept of pieces and parts, whereas instead of delivering flattened German files to Germany that have subtitles burned in and doing the same thing for French and Italian, we're starting to see common textless-based versions of content come in, and then lots of ancillaries that need to go with them. So what it allows is, as rolling out a new territory, instead of having to deliver the entire program in that language, we may only need to deliver subtitle files that can complement what a retail or a broadcaster has already received. Additionally, we've seen lots of advancements around higher resolution with UHD and 4K, as well as high dynamic range and virtual reality coming in as well.
Okay, so Barbara, I'm curious. I'm sure you see lots of challenges from many different ranges of types of clients. I assume you have internal developers to develop the software. Could you talk about that a little?
When we opened the company, it was a great pleasure to me being a producer and being somebody who is studio agnostic with all of these people throwing this deliverable, that deliverable, and me going, oh, what are all these things? I was able to just turn to the developers and be able to come up with a system with them that can actually deliver for many different studios, different deliverables, and trying to streamline the process because it's all about that.
All right, so if you have internal developers, what do you build versus purchase?
Well, like I'm not the technology people, but I can say that it is our dub center. Our software, Cortex, is our dub center. And so I don't have to go outside. If I know that our engineers at MTI would probably do this or that and this or that, but for me, I never have to go anywhere further than our dub room.
All right, so how does the creative post and the distribution post work together? I guess that could be answered by either one of you guys.
Sure, I mean, like we mentioned earlier, there's definitely a handoff because, Barbara's company is responsible for creating these final elements that are going to be distributed out to the world, where my company is responsible for receiving those assets, prepping them for what the world is expecting to receive within their technical specification. So it definitely requires a collaborative environment. While we're both considered post-production, we're definitely fulfilling different roles of it, which is there's that creative post that originates the content, and there's that distribution-based post that has to maybe tweak it and modify it a little bit to get it where it needs to go based on the recipient who's receiving that. So definitely communication is the biggest factor of how that's happening. I know Barbara's team also, needs to be aware, what do we need to make? Well, where is this content going? Are there deals in place with someone like a Netflix or with a specific airline? Well, what do they receive so that I know what I'm supposed to make so I can give it to the appropriate people to do what they have to do to deliver it. So it's this kind of communication layer and this global kind of understanding of the distribution chain and where it needs to go so you know what you're supposed to make.
All right, so Barbara, I'm real curious, how can you guys ensure that the deliverables are obviously correct and that they're delivered in time?
Well, that's an ongoing process because it's ever changing. But, you know, we try and give as pristine and clean a picture with no dead pixels and with the digital assets that are now from camera all the way through. We try and give as clean and QC-proofed, you know, final content so that he's able to do whatever they do need. iTunes, there's just so many different markets that I don't even have anything to do with. So if I give him a clean picture with clean audio, and, you know, depending on the studio, hopefully you start here so that everything can kind of channel off of that.
All right. Again, Barbara Marshall, executive producer at MTI Film. Always a pleasure having you, as well as Geoff Bloder, vice president of technology at Premier Digital Services in Los Angeles, California, at SMPTE's annual technical conference and exhibition. It's great having you guys. We'll see you in another edition of SMPTE 2016 Live.